What is a shock wave? Hello, engineering enthusiasts. Have you ever heard the term shock wave in a news report or a movie? But do you know exactly what a shock wave is? A shock wave is a phenomenon that occurs when an object moves through a medium, such as air or water, at a speed greater than the speed of sound in that medium. What is a shock wave? This phenomenon is characterized by a sudden and dramatic change in pressure, temperature, and density, resulting in a high-energy wave that propagates through the medium. When an object, such as an airplane, travels at supersonic speed, meaning faster than the speed of sound, it pushes the air molecules in front of it, compressing them into a very small space. Since air cannot move fast enough to escape the object's front, it accumulates, creating a high-pressure front. This high-pressure front is what we call a shock wave. Shock waves are quite different from normal sound waves. While a sound wave propagates smoothly and continuously through a medium, a shock wave is an abrupt transition that generates extreme compression followed by a rapid expansion of the medium. This results in a very loud and distinct sound, known as a sonic boom, which can be heard when a shock wave passes an observer. Beyond the sonic boom, shock waves have several practical and technological implications. In aeronautical engineering, for example, understanding shock waves is crucial for designing aircraft that operate at supersonic speeds. The shape of the aircraft must be designed to minimize drag and manage the formation of shock waves, ensuring efficient and safe operation. In physics and engineering, shock waves are also studied in other contexts, such as explosions and shock propagation in fluids. In explosions, the detonation of explosives generates shock waves that travel through the air, causing significant damage to surrounding structures. In fluids, shock waves can occur in events such as underwater volcanic eruptions or rapid chemical reactions. Studying and understanding shock waves. To study and better understand shock waves, engineers and scientists use a combination of experiments, computer simulations, and mathematical theories. These tools allow for a detailed analysis of shock wave behavior and help develop technologies to mitigate their undesirable effects. Can shock waves really break windows? But I've seen videos showing windows being shattered by shock waves. Is that true? Yes, shock waves can cause damage depending on their intensity and the context in which they occur. When a shock wave propagates through a medium, it carries a large amount of energy, which can result in destructive effects. Shock waves in supersonic aircraft. In supersonic aircraft, the sonic boom generated by shock waves can damage fragile structures and cause discomfort for people on the ground. Although the sonic boom is generally not harmful to human health, it can break windows and cause other types of material damage, especially in densely populated areas. For this reason, supersonic flights over inhabited areas are often restricted or prohibited. Shock waves and explosions. In explosions, shock waves are one of the main causes of destruction. When an explosive detonates, it generates a shock wave that rapidly propagates through the air or other media. This shock wave creates a high-pressure front that can destroy buildings, vehicles, and other structures, as well as cause severe or fatal injuries to people nearby. One example of this is the explosion of an atomic bomb. An interesting and somewhat frightening fact is that when an atomic bomb is launched to hit a target, it does not detonate upon hitting the ground. Instead, it explodes while still in the air. This is because an airburst explosion allows the shock wave to reach a much larger area than if the bomb detonated on the ground. The destruction is primarily caused by the shock wave itself. Industrial applications of shock waves. In industrial contexts, such as mining and quarries, explosives are often used to break rocks. The shock waves generated by these explosions are directed to fracture and displace large volumes of rock material. Although this is a controlled application of shock waves, there is still a risk of collateral damage to nearby equipment and facilities if the explosion is not carefully planned and executed. shock waves in medicine. In medicine, shock waves are used in a controlled manner for therapeutic treatments, such as lithotripsy, which uses shock waves to break down kidney stones. Although this application is beneficial, it is an example of how shock wave energy can be directed to cause controlled destruction of structures within the human body. To mitigate the damage caused by shock waves, engineers and scientists work on developing technologies and protection methods. In aircraft, for example, aerodynamic design is optimized to reduce the intensity of shock waves. In industrial and military environments, the use of absorbing materials and barriers can help protect against the destructive effects of shock waves. Can you see a shock wave? I've seen videos of supersonic planes that seem to form a kind of shield in front of them. Is that real? Directly seeing a shock wave is challenging because it is a sudden change in pressure, density, and temperature in a medium, which is usually invisible to the naked eye. However, there are methods and conditions in which shock waves can be observed indirectly. How can shock waves be seen? 1. Schlieren photography and shadowgraph imaging. These are photographic techniques that allow visualization of changes in fluid density, such as air, revealing the presence of shock waves. Schlieren photography uses variations in the refractive index of air to create images where shock waves appear as lines or streaks. Shadowgraph imaging projects shadows of density variations, allowing visualization of shock wave patterns. 2. Vapor condensation. Under certain atmospheric conditions, such as high humidity, shock waves generated by supersonic aircraft can cause water vapor in the air to condense. This often results in visible vapor formations around the aircraft, frequently appearing as a vapor cone or a visible boom. 3. Smoke visualization. In wind tunnel experiments, engineers often use smoke or mist to visualize airflow around aircraft models. Shock waves can be seen as sudden changes in the smoke flow pattern. 4. Gas fluorescence. In specialized conditions, certain gases can be used to fluoresce when subjected to the intense pressure and temperature changes of a shock wave, making them visible. These methods allow scientists and engineers to study shock waves and improve technologies related to supersonic travel, explosions, and other applications. How to see shock waves in action. In some cases, fluorescent gases can be used in experiments to visualize shock waves. When these gases are excited by changes in pressure and temperature caused by a shock wave, they emit light that can be captured by special cameras. Controlled explosions. During controlled explosions, such as explosive testing, shock waves can be seen due to the displacement and compression of air, which can create a visible disturbance line. In high-speed films, these shock waves can be captured as moving compression fronts. Example, a supersonic aircraft in flight. To illustrate this using the question I asked earlier, let's consider the case of a supersonic aircraft in flight. When the aircraft exceeds the speed of sound, shock waves form at the aircraft's nose and along its fuselage. In high humidity conditions, the rapid compression and expansion of air along the shock waves can cause water vapor to condense, forming a visible cone around the aircraft. This vapor cone is frequently photographed and used to visually illustrate the presence of shock waves. Enjoying the content? Support the channel. If you've made it this far and enjoyed the video, take a moment to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Leave a like to support our content. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. If you find our content interesting, consider becoming a member to help us continue producing high-quality content here on the platform. If you're looking for professional growth, check out the link below where you'll find various opportunities to develop new skills that will make a difference in both your personal and professional life. Have you ever seen a shock wave? Have you ever seen one of these vapor cones forming around a supersonic aircraft? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. On the side, You'll find 2 more interesting video options that you should watch to expand your knowledge and curiosity. And if you'd like to contribute to our channel, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, consider becoming a member. That's it, engineering enthusiasts. A big hug, and I'll see you in the next video.